Oof.
Awkward moment.
Hi, can you guys hear me okay? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
awkward moment as usual. What's good, everybody? You guys know who we are, so we're going to talk about the Marvels movie and give our opinion of what we thought of the movie. So, I thought the Marvel movie was what you expected. You know, over the top jokes, cringy moments, predictable plot, plain villain that you just don't care about. I think the positives for me was the first half of the movie. I liked Brie Larson and Tiana Paris. I like their chemistry. I like the dynamic between the two of them and the actress who played Miss Marvel. They were like the positives for me as like the biggest part of the movie. Um, I just wish we got more like some serious points with the three of them, or at least between between Carol and Monica. At least get more of like their unsettledness differences or what happened for like the last 15 years. I felt like they glossed over parts of that, but outside of that, I thought the actress who played I think Darby is what her name was. She was just too much of a Batman 66 TV villain. Like, just she kind of knew she was in a comic book movie. She just kind of acted like one of those, I'm in a comic book movie, I have to act weird and different and whatever. To just be a comic book character, I guess. I don't know. It just didn't really like work for me. The story felt very rushed. You didn't really care for some of the big moments that happened, especially with the scrolls, where it's supposed to be like this big moment, and it just didn't really work out, at least for me. But I did find myself enjoying this movie. I did enjoy, like I said, the first half, the characters between Carol Danvers and Monica Rambeau and Miss Marvel. I thought Brie Larson was more likable in this. I did like they kind of gave her something more likable, I guess, or she worked with the material that was given with her. Overall, it's not a bad Marvel movie. It's not like one of the worst ones. Not great either. It's mediocre. It's in the middle. My score for this is a 6 out of 10. There we go.
Okay. There we go. All right, let me go ahead and pull up my review. Okay. So, saying I wasn't looking forward to this movie would be an understatement. I didn't like Captain Marvel's solo film back in 2019, nor am I a fan of her character in the MCU, and I've only sat through one episode of Miss Marvel and never even bothered to finish the rest. Not to mention the MCU has just been on a major down slope after Endgame. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some exceptions here and there, but for a lot of it seemed, for a good chunk of it, it seems like Phase 4 and Phase 5 have shown the MCU at its absolute worst. I will say that I wasn't looking forward to it, and I only watched it because we were doing it for our show and no other reason. And I'll say that after seeing this movie, yeah, those expectations were those expectations pretty justified? Well, kind of, but we'll get into it. Let me start with the positives. The acting all around is very good. Brie Larson does a good job for what she's given, and I'm so happy that unlike her performance in Captain Marvel, she was able to emote and show different expressions instead of looking bored as shit for 95% of the running time. Tiana Paris and I'm in Val. I'm pretty sure I butchered the hell out of those names. So, but they do a good job as Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan, respectively. And I do really like the dynamic and the chemistry between all three of them. They all work very well off of each other. There are some fun action scenes, although some of them are a bit too CGI heavy. But we'll get to that in a minute. And there were some, and I will say there were probably a couple of chuckle moments, and the post-credit scene does kick major ass. Now, for my negatives, first off, I thought that Captain Marvel, just like she was in her solo film and and other phases in the MCU, I found her to be very bland. She's a very bland character. Yeah, granted, she is better here than she was in the Captain Marvel film, but that is seriously not saying much. A good majority of the jokes just felt kind of flat to me. It's kind of typical with MCU's dumb humor. Like I said, there were only a couple chuckle-worth moments, but that's pretty much as far as it went. They were so far and few between. The villain was very weak too. She's practically a Ronin wannabe, and who, by the way, Ronin wasn't even the most interesting MCU villain to begin with. So the CGI is just as terrible as it was in the previous MCU movies, though not the worst I've seen. It is still very noticeably bad. And when I said that that some of the action scenes were a bit CGI heavy, the CGI nearly took me out of those scenes. And there were also some very weird, out of place moments that kind of disrupts the tone a bit for me. I know one moment is when they get to a dancing planet, we get to a part where Carol Danvers is dressed up, has a dress on, and she's singing and dancing with this guy, and it automatically becomes a Disney princess movie, and it just feels so out of place. Another one involves the ending where these CGI cats which, by the way, CGI cats really, they're just devouring all the crew members to save them. In the meantime, a song from the musical Cats had to be played. Marvel, you do know that we're still recovering from the 2019 disaster, right? We don't need to be thinking about the Cats musical at this moment, you assholes. But overall, this movie isn't terrible, but it's certainly not good either. It's not the worst MCU film I've seen, or hell, even the worst of 2023. I'll still take this over Quantumania, but I don't blame anyone for skipping it. I would only recommend it to people if you love the Captain Marvel character for some reason, or the film, or the Miss Marvel show, or if you're just a fan of anything MCU. However, even then, I would still say wait for Disney Plus. Let's just hope that one day Marvel will get themselves out of the hole that they dug themselves into, and then just start continuously make good movies. Although something tells me that that's unlikely to happen anytime soon. And my score is a 5 out of 10.
Insert, all right, Disney fans, insert your "I do not like this movie because women are in it, and I'm a man" comments here, because I don't care. I didn't hate the first Captain Marvel. I thought it was fine, but I wasn't clamoring for a sequel. The trailers didn't impress me. I found the Miss Marvel show to be boring, and the director was Nia DaCosta, and I'm one of those few people that thinks her reboot of Candyman is fucking terrible. And I've been experiencing Marvel fatigue as of late after being subjected to several mediocre or terrible entries in this universe. I mostly watched it to increase my 2023 movie count and for the algorithm's sake. After watching the Marvels Thursday night, I think a more appropriate word for this movie is the mediocres, because I found it to be yet another mediocre and messy addition in this already messy universe. In spite of its flaws, there are a few positives to take away from it. Acting for most of the cast is solid. Iman Vellani was the standout as Kamala Khan. Even though I didn't like her show, I found her to be very entertaining and believable as a super fan who finally gets to meet her idol. Toyota Paris was solid as Captain Rambo, and Samuel L. Jackson as Sam motherfucking Jackson. Furthermore, I really liked the chemistry between the three Marvels, and that montage of them testing out their teleportation powers made me smile a little bit. And that was also the only time I felt Brie Larson actually looked like she cared. Some of the action scenes were fun, and the post-credit scene does have me somewhat intrigued for the future. I may sound repetitive at this point, but it's necessary to address the ongoing issues with the MCU. The over-reliance on terrible CGI and excessive humor is becoming increasingly annoying. Unfortunately, it seems that Feige and Disney are not going to get the hint. Stop already! Stop! Well, yeah, I enjoyed the action scenes. They're super distraction because of all the horrible green screen. Like when Monica was trying to fly, like it looked like she was like Flat Stanley in front of a green screen. She looked like shit. And also, CGI cats, really? You know, it's not that hard to find cats. Go on the street. Have a crew member bring their cat in. Go to adoption center, get a bunch of cats, and once the production is over, bam, all these cats have new homes. Like, look. There's a cat. You see? And that cat is real. That is not CGI. And speaking of the cats and going on to the horrible humor, the scene where they were attacking the crew and eating them, that was so fucking stupid. The Nick Fury's Black Girl Magic joke was stupid. And the planet where everyone is dancing and singing, that looks like something Taika Waititi would do. Brie Larson's performance as Captain Marvel is once again bland and unimpressive. I do not think Brie Larson is a terrible actress because one of my favorite movies of all time is Room, and she is fucking phenomenal in that movie. I don't get why in these movies she doesn't try at all. The villain is just another boring MCU villain whose goal is just power and sky beams. I watched this movie 5 days ago, and I can't even tell you this person's name. All I remember is the sky beam. She has a grill, and she's Ronan the Accuser as a woman. Oh, and it's important that Disney needs to listen to this message clearly. Rome, can you full screen me, please? You full screen me? Not every villain needs to be sympathetic and redeemable. Thank you. Like, you can have a villain be an irredeemable sack of shit. You can have a Palpatine, you can have a Bill the Butcher or a Griffith or a Patrick Bateman. They don't need to be sympathetic, just have them be evil. Have them have layers. When you constantly have to fucking redeem the villains and it's getting annoying. At least with Guardians Volume 3, the high evolutionary, he stayed an evil sack of shit and he was not redeemed. You don't gotta keep redeeming them. To conclude, although The Marvels isn't the worst film in the MCU, that title still goes to Thor shit and Blunder, or the worst comic book movie of 2023, that belongs to The Flash, it's still another unsatisfactory and uninteresting addition to the MCU. It didn't anger me as much as other movies I saw this year. I was just unimpressed. It serves as a testament to the fact that this universe needs to take a long break and reassess its direction. My recommendation would be to wait until it's available for Disney Plus if you're interested in watching it. But instead, you can watch two better movies that came out last week. You can watch David Fincher's The Killer, and you can watch Alexander Payne's The Holdovers. Two superior, excellent movies, better than the mediocre cinematic universe. And with that, I give this movie a low 5 out of 10.
Okay. I would like to say in advance, this may be a while. So, because I have a lot to unpack. If anybody wants to add anything, feel free. I don't care. If you guys want to add anything, say anything, feel free. So, Marvel. I have been on a downward spiral with Marvel in the last couple of months. Quantumania was terrible. I don't know why I wasted my money seeing this. Secret Invasion was terrible. No, never mind. It started off great and it ended terribly. Am I missing anything? Did anything else come out in 2023 that was Marvel related? Oh, sorry. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That was good. I love it. The Marvels, a movie that I was honestly surprised got a sequel because the first movie was not really that good. I was not really the biggest fan of it. I had nothing to do with the fact that it was a female-led superhero movie, so get that out of your head before you hate in the comments. Devin, you want to add anything?
Nah, that's just me to anyone who actually preaches that bullshit statement. Oh, you hate it because women.
Yeah, like
Blah, blah,
just
blah.
because we don't like when we dislike something, it has nothing to do with the gender. We don't like Wonder Woman 84. Is that because of Gal Gadot? No, it's because it's a shitty story. It's a shitty story, and we liked the first Wonder Woman movie. So clearly, if we liked something before and we don't like it, it's not because of the fact that it has a woman in it. It's because you failed to make an impressive sequel. So when I found out that the Marvels was going to have two other leads, I automatically knew this was not going to be good. Not because of the fact that it had two female leads, but the fact of the matter is this. It's really disappointing that Marvel was desperate enough to bring two other leads just to make one stand afloat. Because Brie Larson, ever since she came into the MCU, I'm not going to bash Brie Larson. I'm going to bash the fact that Marvel butchered the material that she had. Brie Larson, ever since she came into the MCU, I feel like has never been given the proper material to work off of. She was not given the proper material in Captain Marvel. Her performance, it was lackluster. She did not have any emotion. The people that want to criticize Hayden Christensen for being monotone and emotionless, that's basically what Brie Larson was in that movie. Endgame. I was excited for her in Endgame. I was excited for her to finally be with the other Avengers, and I was very disappointed. She was barely in the film, and when she was in the film, she was basically the plot device. She had no character. She was just a plot device. Then, so Miss Marvel, love Miss Marvel. I love the show. I'm one of the few that actually likes the show. I think Amani was amazing as Kamala Khan. She is a great introduction as the character of Miss Marvel in the MCU. WandaVision, Monica Rambeau. I liked her character, even though she had the dumbest line in MCU history. I think that she was great as the character. So, with that being said, if your name is not Brie Larson, you were great in this film. I think Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan were great in this movie. I thought they had great moments, even though I think Monica Rambeau's character was underutilized a lot. I still liked her character. I feel like this movie was mainly towards Kamala Khan. She felt more like the main character to me than Carol Danvers, which is ironic because this is supposed to be her sequel movie. I think the villain is, let me continue on the positives. I think that the middle chunk of the film was actually pretty solid. I will give it credit. I thought the middle chunk was actually interesting. I was actually getting invested in the movie. I think that the action for the most part is not that bad. I've seen worse action. I think that I'm drawing a blank here because there's really not a lot of positives. I mean, I like the post credit scene. I like the post credit scene. So that's all the positives. So let's look on the negatives. Captain Marvel is the weakest part of the film. She is the weakest part of the film. She is the least likable character of the three main characters in the film. I think that what they did with her character was they just didn't even try. I think that the conflict between her and Monica Rambeau went nowhere. They tried doing something with it and it fell flat. They could have really expanded on that a lot more, and especially with Kamala Khan, because with what they did with her character later on in the film, it would have been great to see somebody like Kamala Khan, who idolizes Captain Marvel, to take a step back and be like, oh, you're not the person that I idolize. You actually have some flaws. But instead, they just want everybody to be happy. They want everybody to not have any conflict instead of actually giving. This movie really could have been something. Even with the shitty villain, it could have been something between its characters. It could have had a lot of nuance and layers with its characters, with the character, just with the arcs, and just having some drama. But as usual, Marvel doesn't want to do anything that actually tells a great story. They don't want to do anything that actually has real life issues. They just want to give us product, expect us to like it, and move on with our day. CGI was pretty bad. The CGI cats were terrible. The singing planet, again, to take a page out of Devin, it literally just feels like something that Taika Waititi would make. Samuel L. Jackson, as much as I love him as an actor, he was terrible in this film as Nick Fury. They have ruined this man's character since Endgame. Every single time I see Samuel L. Jackson in an MCU project since Endgame, I just think to myself, how much further can they ruin this man's character? If you have seen Secret Invasion, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, the villain, I can't for the life of me even remember why she was even a villain, nor I remember what her name was. I think her name was like Baron or Duran or something. I don't know. The final act was pretty rushed. I think the pacing in this film was very fast. The fact that this movie is an hour and 45 minutes, that just lets you know that they really didn't give a shit about this movie. They did not believe in this movie from the jump, that they just wanted to get this movie out as quickly as they can so that they can just try to make some money off it. And they're not even doing a good job because this movie is bombing in the box office. So with that being said, this movie is not the worst thing I've ever seen. I have seen way worse MCU projects. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you've heard me on the show before. You know what my least favorite MCU project is. I mean, the color of the shirt should give away what it is. This movie, while it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, it is not a good movie. It is a shame that I'm just going to say it here. It is a shame that the actors of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau, who are great actresses, have to be in a messy movie as this. It is a shame that Brie Larson's talents were never used properly, because I really do feel like under a right script, she could have been something great. She could have been something great. The light just turned off, but I'm still going. It is a shame that we had so many actors and actresses having this movie just felt like a waste of time. Like, what does this movie, what is the purpose of this movie? What does it progress? It progresses nothing. So with that being said, I'm giving this movie a 5 out of 10. The only thing that's saving it for me is Monica Rambeau, Kamala Khan, and the post-credit scene, which, by the way, the post-credit scene was pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited for what they're going to do with said characters at the post-credit scene. However, CGI is terrible. I am done.
And then there was one. Last word, as usual, goes to the good-looking fat man. I fully expected to hate this film. I expected a disaster. I hated the first film. After all, I've never been a fan of Brie's Captain Marvel, even in Endgame. And although she's great in literally everything else, and the trailers made it look dull and uninspired. However, I was somewhat shocked to find that I actually enjoyed it for the most part, despite some glaring issues, although it fell apart a bit at the end. First, let's review the positives. Iman Vellani is absolutely the MVP of this movie as the adorable Miss Marvel. She has all the charm and charisma that Brie doesn't, and now I want to watch her series. Even her family adds a lot of satisfying humor and humor. She is definitely the heart of this film and the glue that holds it together. I look forward to seeing more of her on screen in the future. Tiana Paris is fine in more than one sense of the word as Captain Monica Rambeau. I hate how they never decided on her code name. Even if the scenes between her and Brie that were supposed to feel tense and emotional felt a bit flat to me. Speak of the devil, Brie was actually a little better this time. Actually, some maybe not great, but a lot big improvement from the way she was in Captain Marvel. The chemistry between, even if she ultimately still feels somewhat flat and a little one-dimensional to me. And my daughter even said the same thing. The chemistry between the three, however, as a whole is very good and elevates her a bit. Samuel L. Jackson is legit funny as Nick Fury, and it works with the tone of the film, even if I see why fans hate how he's lost the sense of gravitas he always had in the MCU's early years. The action is actually pretty good. Between this and the humor, most of the film works fine to me. And I actually liked it. Color me shocked. However, it's not all roses, so let's get to the uglier aspects of the film. For one, it's tonally uneven, swinging wildly between scenes of absolute silliness and what should feel like downright horrifying because the lackluster writing fails to integrate it into a coherent vision. For example, I'm sure we all heard of the infamous song and dance number right in the middle of the film. And sure enough, they do go to a planet to they figure out is going to be her next target. And there's this whole big song and dance number. It's actually not nearly as bad as I assumed it would be. And I understood what they were doing. They were just trying to add a little bit of Bollywood. And actually was surprised. Brie actually is fairly good, actually. So, but then the problem is not the scene itself. The problem is that they switched right from that to this scene where the villain, and I'm just calling her the villain because she was so incredibly forgettable. I never even knew her name in the film. But she shows up and she starts basically stealing all the water from this planet. Basically, she's killing this planet and, dooming these people to die. And like she has already done to one planet, this planet where the Skrulls had refuge. And it really just lacks. The problem is you go from this one scene of silliness to this other scene, and it really just kind of hurts it's too abrupt a transition there. And later we get the same thing when she's trying to steal the sun, our son, to try to hurt Captain Marvel again because of what she did to the Kree. And but right in the middle of that, when it should be this horrifying thing, was we got to hurry up and stop this villain before she destroys our planet and kills billions of people. We have this scene of absolute silliness where these Cthulhu kitties are little eating people to try to save them, I guess. And it's just really, it's a very totally uneven film. It definitely feels like it was written by AI in that respect. But then again, that corporate paint by numbers feel has quite frankly always been there with Marvel. And that's been my problem with them ever since Disney took over during the Avengers. It's just more glaring of late because the franchise lacks a Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans to do the heavy lifting. And everyone can see now that Emperor Feige has no clothes. Still, I feel compelled to add that Iman Vellani shows great promise, and they should lean on that in the future. The villain is definitely the worst part, as I mentioned, as dull and uninteresting as any we've seen. It's a throwback to the old days when Marvel didn't invest much in their antagonists, which is a bit of a surprise because they've actually done a lot better in that regard in recent years, at least in some projects. Honestly, don't even remember her name. Hell, I never knew it in the film. And I had no clue who she was or what her deal. And I had no clue who she was or what her deal was until halfway through the film, when Bree's Carol Danvers patiently does so herself. When the villain can't stand alone, that's a major problem. The ending where they try to redeem wannabe Hitler with a sob story to pull the heroes and audience's heartstrings is maddeningly stupid. This bitch genocided 2 worlds. Who gives a goddamn what she thinks? And of course, it's all a ruse to let her get the upper hand. And of course, in true Marvel fashion, the heroes naively fall for it. It's such so unforgivable. It's such an easily avoidable mistake plot wise, and it makes the heroes look maddeningly stupid to trust her. Not to mention that it's the most predictable shit you could have done. Here we are in a post The Incredibles era, which beautifully deconstructed all of this bullshit and all of these tropes, where everyone and his brother learned to poke fun at a villain monologuing. And what do we have? Marvel gives us a villain monologuing and the heroes falling for it. The oldest trick in the book is totally unforgivable. That's not even to mention the fact that we get of course, we get another trope. Give me the power to destroy the entire universe, or I will kill this one character. Pretty sure Kamala Khan would gladly sacrifice herself to save her family, but let's not make any hard choices here. It is the MCU after all, so fuck originality. No, let's just stick to doing the same shit we've been doing for damn near 20 years now. Fuck you, Kevin Feige. Okay, rant over. I was actually quite positive on the film until then. At the end of the day, I've been on the fence, so I can't recommend it with any kind of enthusiasm. But at the same time, it's really not bad. Not like I expected it to be. And there's actually a lot to like in this film, especially Kamala Khan and her family. Teyonah Parris is good. The chemistry between the three is really good. The action, the humor, I thought worked for the most part. The problem is it's just not great. It's just fairly middling. And that's been the biggest problem with the MCU of late. Again, it's not a bad film. It's actually a pretty decent film. But my biggest problem with it is that it could have been a really good film had they just taken the time and cared to tweak a few things rather than going all cookie cutter. What I expected to be a disaster turned into a surprise and then into a bit of a heartbreak. And P.S., why does the fabric of space and time in the MCU look like the sky from the movie Chicken Little? Hashtag shitty art design. And my score is a 6 out of 10.
There was even a point where I looked at it, I'm like, is that a Sky Gina?
So apparently, the villain's name.
I have Austin's review, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, our friend Austin, he was not able to hop on, but he does have his review written up. Do you want to read, Devin?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Okay.
All right, so this is the Austinator's review of The Marvels. 2023 has not been a kind year for superhero films. With the exception of a couple, they have either been mediocre or flat out terrible, and after seeing the trailers for The Marvels, I was not looking forward to it at all. And after watching it, all I have to say is, while it's not as bad as The Flash, it is a runner-up for one of the worst superhero films this year. However, there are a couple positives in here. Brie Larson's performance was better here than in the first Captain Marvel, as she tries to work with the awful script and show some personality. Iman Vellani was easily the best part of the movie as Miss Marvel, as she stole every scene that she was in with her great personality and just overall fun character. Despite what they do with him, Samuel L. Jackson was great again as Nick Fury, and Teyonah Parris did another fine job as Monica Rambeau. She was probably the only other character that got any real development in this film, but that's not saying much. I like the idea of them switching places while using their powers, and it's not developed well. Unfortunately, there's a lot wrong with this film. First and foremost, this film suffers from common MCU problems as of late, which is poor CGI, awful comedy, and a bland antagonist. The comedy being the worst part of the film, as for nothing is taken seriously, especially when Nick Fury is on screen and everything he does is just a punchline for a joke. The dancing and singing planet was just pointless. Also, the CGI cats eating everyone was just plain stupid. Dar-Benn, that was her name? Okay.
I guess so.
Is also one of the worst antagonists in the MCU, as she is not threatening, very bland, and they try to make you sympathize with her, which doesn't work because the character doesn't work. The CGI continues to get worse, and the story is all over the place and messy and feels like multiple different scripts combined into one, and it doesn't work. Overall, this is a messy film that doesn't really work and continues the MCU slump. If you're a fan of Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, or just a fan of the MCU, you might enjoy this film, but I would wait until it drops on Disney+. And with that, he gives it a 3 out of 10.
So I'd like to add that I just found out, I looked up the cast. The villain's name is Darbin.
I'm sticking with
Darvin, yeah, Wikipedia told me.
I'm sticking with Ronan wannabe. That's all I'm going to stick with.
I'm going with
Ronette.
Grills.
Yeah.
Ronette.
Ronette. Yeah, there
When
we
the
go.
movie didn't-
Ronette.
Ronette. There you go. I'll go with that, Ronette.
I'm just going to say the hottie with Ronan's hammer. There you go.
Can I just add that
Because like
I forgot
Haley
to
said,
say this.
hey, she's hot. So
I forgot to say this in my review. It is so hilarious that Marvel was desperate enough. The week before this movie came out, their final trailer, they decided to have a Thanos voiceover, clips of Tony Stark and Captain America, the Avengers theme, and not have any of that in the movie. They were that desperate enough to put that stuff in a trailer to basically just have everyone be like, hey, please come see our movie. We have these characters that you all know and love. Please go see our movie.
I was going
Like,
Disney, you are pathetic.
it's pathetic.
I mean, they pulled a
Like-
Lucasfilms just like they did with the
Yeah.
other movie from Star Wars. Just let's get the
It's-
Duels of Fate and get you all hyped up for nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just disappointing. It's disappointing that Disney and Marvel will really stoop that low. I mean, listen. I mean, I'll further expand on what I meant by, like, when I heard that there were going to be 3 main characters in the movie, I knew it was going to fail because it is bad. If it's really bad, and it tells you how bad it is, that Captain Marvel as a solo film can't work if she has to have 2 other leads to carry her.
well,
Or
it
much
tells
better.
you that the only reason let's be honest, the only reason that film made so much money is because it was stuck right between Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right,
Yes, absolutely.
right,
I mean,
absolutely.
they could have had Kevin Feige, they could have had Robert Downey Jr. reading off his laundry list in his underwear, and people would have flocked to see it. Shit,
Yeah,
would have
probably.
made $1 billion.
I'm
Shit.
sure. Did Ant-Man and the Wasp do better than Captain Marvel in the box office? Because
No,
that came
Captain
out right
Marvel.
after-
Captain Marvel did better than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Why did
Well,
I
Captain
say
Marvel
that?
made $1 billion.
Yeah, Captain
Yeah,
Marvel
why did
made
I-
$1 billion. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't even think Ant-Man and the Wasp made half that.
I'm sure.
No, I
that
made like I think
Ant-Man and the
400
Wasp-
million.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp came out during it took Captain Marvel's place, I guarantee you it would have made $1 billion. I guarantee you.
It made Ant-Man and the Wasp made $622.7 million.
Yeah, I guarantee you they would have
Okay.
made $1 billion. I guarantee you.
And what sucks, Ant-Man and the Wasp, that was a more important movie to watch if you're going to go watch Endgame with the whole quantum physics and everything that they were working in Endgame.
Actually.
Yep. What does Captain Marvel do? What does that movie? That movie is just a waste of time. I mean, yes, it explains the origin, but we could have had a Captain Marvel movie years ago. Years
Could have.
ago. It's like Marvel doesn't know that. Hey, you do realize you could have made movies in between certain movies that give us some backstory on characters that
You-
could have. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why they decided to introduce Black Panther and Spider-Man first, then give them a movie. Why are you introducing Captain Marvel? Why are you giving us a Captain Marvel movie, and then putting her in? It feels out of place. It's the same thing with Black Widow. Why would you not give us a Black Widow movie before
Thank
any
you.
of the
Thank
last-
you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Black
And I like
Jay,
Black
I
Widow.
will say,
Black
Jay-
Widow should have.
Black
should have
Widow's
had
kind
a
of
movie.
man.
They should have had a movie, an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. movie starring Black Widow and Hawkeye, and show us the incident that they talked about in the Avengers. You know, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
doing it for free.
Right.
Exactly. You know,
Like,
that would have been.
it's a shame that Black Widow was not the first female MCU character to get a movie. It's a shame.
She should have been. She
It's a
really
shame.
should
She
have.
should have
She
been.
was
It's
the
kinda-
best
it's-
part of
Yeah, of course
Iron
she
Man 2. She was the best part of Iron Man 2.
She was one of. I would have to say the best
She
part of
was
Iron
the
Man
best
2.
part of
I
Iron
would
Man.
have to say the best part of Iron Man 2 was probably Rhodey. I liked Rhodey a lot.
I don't
thought
know. I
Rhodey
thought
was-
Rhodey was kind of an asshole. I thought he was
Well,
kind of an
I
asshole.
mean, listen, Tony Stark was kind of going down a downward spiral. So like,
He was, but
It
at
took
the same
it
time,
took
I
a
mean,
sec. It took a second for Don Cheadle to ease into that role.
That role,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, I
Mhm.
liked it from the
Yeah.
jump. I liked it from the jump. I mean, I thought it was better than Terrence
I wanted
Howard.
to see Iron Man.
Yeah, but it's so disrespectful that Black Widow did not get a movie before, but like didn't get a movie
She really
before
should've.
Endgame.
Yeah.
Because like when you release a movie after the fact that she died, that has no and Black Widow, we it does nothing. I mean, yes, it introduces to Yelena, but we could have had that beforehand. You could have done that before.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
Yeah,
part.
absolutely.
So yeah. By the way, I want you guys to. This is something I want you guys to understand. A question with me. Does anyone know how much screen time the villain got?
I don't even know. I don't remember.
I would guess like 20 minutes total.
Dude, he did not play 20 minutes. It felt like 10, maybe less than that.
Someone's echoing.
Oh,
Hello.
hello.
Is there
Hello?
anybody
Hello?
up
Yeah.
there? Can anybody hear me?
I don't hear
Not
an echo
you.
anymore.
Nah, I don't hear it
Yeah,
anymore.
All right, I think we're good.
Yeah, I felt like the villain was barely in the film, and when she was in the film, it was just like, oh, there she is, there she is. I almost forgot that you were in this movie,
Oh yeah, it's
Darvin.
you,
It's
Grill.
yeah.
So I guess we could talk about the big blue furry elephant in the room, the post-credit scene. So for those of you who have not seen the post-credit scene, this is what I'm going to explain. The ending. So at the end of the movie, Monica Rambeau, spoiler alert, gets trapped in another universe after closing the hole. After closing the hole between their reality and another one's. And she was the only one that could fix basically she pulled a Doctor Strange. And when she wakes up in a hospital bed. And on her side is Marshawn Lynch's another Marshawn Lynch variant. We don't know her character, but Monica Rambeau wakes up and she's like, Mom. Obviously that's not her mother because we know it's a different universe. But then we hear and see a big, massive blue motherfucker walk past the camera, and the camera pans, and it's no other than Hank McCoy, aka Beast. And CGI was bad, but that's not the point. The point is we have the X-Men finally in the MCU. They name dropped Charles, they name dropped some other shit.
I mean, you can even see that the door to Cerebro, the X door to Cerebro in the background too.
Well, not the Cerebro, but the door to the.
Well, you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean, yeah. But,
So,
I mean,
they're in the
yeah,
school.
but that was, and it was Kelsey Grammer's Beast too.
Oh, it was, yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
AKA the best live action Beast.
Oh, Kelsey Grammer was perfect casting as
Yeah,
Beast.
he was.
It was.
Oh yeah.
After
absolutely.
so many years of us wondering how are they going to introduce the X-Men, they introduced the X-Men in this movie. Now, granted,
This is the best you got.
it's kind of disappointing that this lackluster movie had a cutscene, had a post-credit scene. Well, I can understand why they did it, but it's like, really, this movie is this is the movie that you decide to introduce the X-Men. But this is the question now that I have: how are the X-Men going to end up being at 616? Because you can't wait till Secret Wars. You can't do it. Or
They're
are
gonna
they going to
have
do it? I don't know.
They don't have a choice.
Deadpool 3?
Watch Deadpool 3. That's the next one.
Yeah,
That's the name,
that-
Deadpool 3.
But I thought
Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3 was going to have the OG though, like the OG cast, and then we would get the new X-Men.
But that's what they teased in the mid-credit scene with Beast, the OG look and that whole thing.
Oh yeah. They
Oh,
did.
then maybe, but
Yeah.
at least it answers. At least it doesn't pull the Eternals, and it's like, why, if you guys are here this entire time, where have you been? Because honestly, at this point in time, I don't think the mutants. I don't think the X-Men would have worked in this continuity because
No,
we already have
No.
we already have a world full of superheroes, and there's no prejudice at all. No one is treating these superpower beings as like feared individuals. So it wouldn't have made any
exactly.
sense.
Exactly.
That's the problem. That's the problem with introducing the X-Men in the MCU. Everyone is fully aware and accepts superheroes. They're
Mhm.
loved. They're icons. And the whole thing about the X-Men, a big thing is, they're mutants, they're outsiders, and there's a lot of prejudice and laws against them.
Well, let's be
How-
honest. That's always been a problem with Marvel because they always explain that. Oh well, the superheroes aren't mutants and the mutants are mutants. So, but honestly, let's be real. People would not care to make such a fucking distinction. To them, it's just superpower being. They'd all be freaks. Either people would love them all or hate them all. Most people are not going to make such a fine distinction between the two.
Yeah,
It just doesn't make any
exactly.
sense.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make
You
any
see-
sense. It can,
You see a guy that has like metal claws shooting out of his knuckles, or a woman that controls the weather. That's just another Friday to
Yeah.
them in the MCU.
They've already accepted that there are gods among their super cast of superheroes. So of course they're going to be accepting on the mutants.
Well, I
They've
don't know
already
now.
accepted the Hulk.
Exactly.
Hold on. The thing is, as far as the heroes go, there've got to be a very extremely small number of heroes. It's not like whereas mutants, there are a whole bunch of mutants. Once you introduce mutants, did you get to so then you're talking about a significant, at least a small but still significant portion of the population that's mutants now. Then it becomes if it's just the Avengers, you're talking about what, a dozen, 2 dozen, something like that. But here you're talking about, people's neighbors and friends that they see every day, kids and teenagers with incredible power, and some of which are very dangerous. So yeah, I could kind of see it.
and this is the issue that I have with the Secret Invasion even more, because if Marvel, because I want people to realize the Marvels takes place right after Secret Invasion, so you already know that tonally this makes no sense for Nick Fury to even be remotely relaxed.
Actually, this is supposed to have taken place before Secret Invasion. I already found that out. This is supposed to have taken place before Secret Invasion.
Oh, okay.
This was this was delayed. Matter of fact,
Sure.
they even referenced the colony because they even referenced the Skrull colony. The Skrulls who were with in whatever it's called, wherever the Doors people are.
All right. Well, then it makes what I have. Then it makes what I said earlier about if New Asgard. Wait. So you mean to tell me that this takes place before the Secret Invasion? So that's what you're telling me, Mark.
Supposedly, that's what I heard. Okay, that's what I understand.
Rob,
What's
join me.
So if this takes place before Secret Invasion, this means that Maria Hill died for nothing. She died for nothing. Nick Fury is a fucking idiot. Captain Marvel is responsible for many people dying on planet Earth because she knows Valkyrie. We saw a scene where she contacts Valkyrie to take the Skrulls to New Asgard. So she is responsible for multiple deaths. Talos dies for nothing. Gaia, Gaia, oh yeah, by the way, remember Gaia? Yeah, so Gaia is the most powerful being in the MCU now, apparently. I just want to leave that. I just want to leave that. So all those events could have been prevented if Nick Fury and Captain Marvel could have just been like, oh, if Captain Marvel could have just visited and be like, oh, hey, Nick Fury, I hear that you guys are looking for a home to put the Skrulls in. I know a friend. Her name's Valkyrie. We New Asgard. Let's bring them there. So you could have done this entire time, but chose not to, just because of plot. Just because we needed to have plot. We needed to have action.
That's Kevin Feige over there.
I'm not asking you, Mark. I was just that's a rhetorical question. Obviously, you don't know fucking know the answer. I'm just saying that, wow. So apparently the Marvels takes place before Captain Marvel. Sorry, the Marvels. So yeah.
I mean, my guess would be that, how many Skrulls are there on Earth? I mean, you're talking about, she had maybe a few dozen? She had a few dozen go to New Asgard.
Do you know how big Norway is?
Yeah, but it's not big enough to hold millions of Skrulls. So, for crying out loud.
And Skrulls, it's not like the Skrulls were a large population. It was a pretty, they were decreased in numbers, because I think they were kind of dying off. They were a species that was dying off. It's not like they had a millions upon millions of Skrulls. So yeah. So, but the Marvels being released before Secret Invasion, this movie is more. This show is just more pointless. This show is pointless. They had the potential to do something great with the Secret Invasion storyline, because the Skrulls, they already fucked up the Skrulls. So, but it's just wow. Marvel ceases to amaze me on how stupid they are and how they've been. I know we give DC shit. I know we give DC so much shit. Oh, they try to be like Marvel. Oh, Warner Brothers fucks with movies and they never let the studio mandates, the Snyder Cut, Suicide Squad. Oh, BVS, which by the way, BVS is a great movie. I don't give a shit. But Marvel, you have become the very thing you swore to destroy.
You're goddamn right on BVS too, baby.
They have become DC.
Uh-huh.
They have become DC. Now DC is its own monster. But Marvel has become to the point where they are now the laughingstock of comic book movies. Because let's look at the timeline since Endgame. We have gotten Invincible. We have gotten The Boys. We have gotten Gen V. We have gotten, I know there's another superhero show or movie that we've gotten that's not Marvel related or DC related that's pretty good. I can't for the life of me. I know I'm drawing a blank, but we have had 3 properties in superhero media that have not only been better than the MCU, but they actually do new shit. They are not afraid to get their hands dirty. They're not afraid to talk about real life struggles and real life issues. They're not afraid to even mock their own genre, because The Boys is basically a parody of Marvel and DC and the real life society. It is disappointing that Marvel is getting outclassed and outshined by other companies that have no business competing with them. Amazon Prime has no business competing with Marvel, but they're beating them, and they're beating the shit out of them too. They're beating the shit out of them like Omni-Man did fucking Invincible in season 1. It's wow. This is wow. And honestly, Deadpool 3, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure, hey, look, it's Hugh Jackman. Oh, hey, it's Ryan Reynolds. Oh, hey, it's James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender. Oh, look, it's Halle Berry. Oh, look, it's Patrick Stewart. I'm sure we'll be like that. But it's not going to be the same.
They're gonna fuck
the
it
magic
up.
is gone. They're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, they are gonna fuck it up. Absolutely.
Fuck it up. That's really what going into any of these Marvel movies now. They're just gonna you're just looking to see what are they gonna fuck up next.
Yeah, I'm not excited for a Marvel movie anymore. I'm more like,
me neither.
Is this going to be another messy entry, or will this be a surprise? Because I mean,
God.
I like Guardians Volume 3, but I don't think it's amazing.
It seems like the last. It seems like. I mean, it's just nothing really impresses. Nothing I'm looking forward to in terms of the MCU. I mean, yeah, I was I was a little curious about Guardians 3, and seeing how they would close out the Guardians series, but it's like that was it. There was like, I mean, anything else Marvel related I'm more excited about would probably be related to like Beyond the Spider-Verse. That's like the only one that comes to my mind.
Oh, what about
Thank you.
Loki? What about Loki? I mean, because I finished Loki, which, by the way, it's the best thing. If you see my Letterboxd review, it's the best thing we've gotten since Endgame.
Oh, I actually did watch season 2 of Loki because I know my girlfriend. I was watching it with my girlfriend and all. Yeah, it was honestly kind of a surprise. It was
I might watch it.
You should, Devin.
Loki's
Yeah.
actually legit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Devin,
Loki
it-
season
it-
2. I would say
Loki's
it's worth a
really
watch.
Like the cinematography, watch it for the cinematography alone. The
Oh, yeah.
cinematography of Loki season 2 is like actually the greatest thing I've ever seen with camera work
Hello,
in the
Zach.
Marvel in the MCU.
Gentleman.
Hello, Zach.
What's up, Zach?
Gentleman.
Gentleman,
Good
secret
evening,
gentleman.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
He got him separated. He said, "Gentlemen."
Yeah, I know. We know. We're just being funny.
Who are you? I'm Gentleman.
So, how about?
I mean, outside of Deadpool 3, everything else has been like a lot of struggling. Like Captain America: Brave New Worlds has been going through reshoots. They
Yeah,
can't get
Yeah,
the
they
blade off
just
the
started
ground at all.
reshoots. They said the test screens
Yeah.
for that movie were negative.
Yeah. So
we know
They,
why. We know why.
Yeah, because She-Hulk's in it.
Hmm?
Wait, what?
What?
Please tell me you're lying.
Oh, you didn't know that?
You have to be messing with me. Please,
Surprise, motherfucker.
please tell me you're lying. No, it's not true. It's not possible.
Oh, I broke Jay.
although Grant,
I'm lost. What the fuck? I'm lost. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
although to be fair, Devin, I didn't even know about that either.
I mean, it is a rumor. Nothing is confirmed yet, but it wouldn't surprise me because the leader is showing up. Thunderbolt Ross is going to be Red Hulk. Betty Ross is going to show up.
Everyone but Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Everyone but Bruce Banner. Okay.
Yeah, this is the first time we're going to have the leader after you set him up in The Incredible Hulk, and his first appearance is a Captain America movie.
Granted, the reason why I said why the test screenings are bad, I was just going to say we all know why, because nobody wants to watch a black man be Captain America.
I do.
The
Sorry.
views and opinions of the world's biggest geek do not reflect the rest of the views of the Culkins.
I'm just saying people are still pissed that Sam Wilson is Captain America. I'm just saying.
Well, those people can go fuck themselves. I'd actually like to see it, but I don't know if they're going to do the movie right. The series was good, you know.
I love this.
It was good.
Yeah, it was
And
good.
honestly,
See,
I liked that Sam became Captain America. I felt that made sense.
It
It
did.
did make sense because Bucky was a perfect soldier, but Sam Wilson was a good man, which is the characteristics and the principles of what being a super soldier and a Captain America is supposed to be. A good
Yeah.
man.
Good
Hey,
man.
hold on. I guess I don't know why they actually, I think it was confirmed, they're putting Captain Israel in there. I don't know why they would wait for those. Yeah, seriously,
Wait,
I don't know why they would
that?
put.
Captain Israel.
something like that. Yeah, the equivalent of Captain America for Israel. I swear to God, that was the rumor that thing was confirmed that they're putting. Yeah,
Maybe they
See,
should hold off on that.
exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I don't know why they were wading into those political waters. I mean, you're going to piss somebody off either way, no matter what you do there. So, I mean, I would stay the fuck away from that.
I'm not gonna delve into the, but maybe they should hold off on that after what is happening.
Don't wade off into those political waters.
Don't touch that dial.
Yeah,
Don't touch that dial.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Don't go there.
No, go
Don't go there.
Maybe.
See, I feel like the Captain America Brave New World thing, it's not going to be a Captain America movie the more I keep hearing about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be kind of like Civil War, where it's more of an Avengers movie than a Captain America movie.
Then why if it's not a Captain Marvel? I mean, yeah, we know it's barely going to be a Captain America movie because they are putting in characters from the Hulk. It's like you're doing a
Right.
Superman movie and you introduce and your villain is the Joker.
Injustice, basically.
Yeah, pretty much Injustice.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Or you're doing a
That's
Flash
the
movie and your
story
villain is
with
General
Blade.
Zod. Oh wait, that already happened.
Oh guys, do you
Yeah.
guys remember?
So that's the
Blade?
story with Blade, where like Blade is like the fourth character of his own movie that they were working on.
Thank
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
thank God that's not happening.
Do you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
remember Blade, the movie that was supposed to have Oscar-winning Mahershala Ali? Now, granted, the Oscar
Right.
for the movie that he won may be controversial, but still, he's an Oscar award-winning actor. But yet, he's the fourth lead in a movie that has
Mhm.
Blade.
I don't buy that shit. I don't buy that. I just don't
Disney,
fucking buy
Disney,
that.
I'm not surprised they did it with this. Disney's done it before. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny,
But they were, hold on, those were still the leads. I mean, shit.
Book of Boba Fett.
They were the lead, though. I mean, shit.
You know what? Nope, never mind. I'm gonna backtrack on the Mandalorian season 3 because it just says the Mandalorian. And it's the same thing jump. I'm gonna backtrack.
It's funny.
on that.
It's funny to think Blade was supposed to come out 2 weeks ago,
Oh yeah.
That was the day.
November 3rd, 2023, and it's still not here.
Yeah.
Nope.
Maybe Mahershala Ali should just leave the project. Honestly, it's not doing him any favors. Honestly, I feel like with how Marvel is, it's making a lot of actors rethink if they even want to be in Marvel movies. I'm not surprised that Brie Larson doesn't want to be a part of Marvel movies anymore. If anything, she has nothing to gain anymore from it. I mean, maybe back then when Marvel was still relevant, it was going to be boost her career, but she's not getting any other calls. She's not in. I haven't seen her in anything outside of since the Marvel movies.
I mean, she was in the end credit scene of Shang-Chi,
Oh yeah, I forgot.
and she appeared at the very end of Miss Marvel.
Mm.
But that was a scene from the Marvels, so that kind of doesn't count.
What did she appear in? What If?
Yeah.
I think so.
She was in the
remember.
episode of What If Thor was a party bro.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Now
No,
You mean
sorry.
Taika Waititi's interpretation?
No, sorry. The episode title was What If Thor Was an Only Child. That's what it was.
Yeah. But I know which one you're talking about, Jay.
Yeah. So Fantastic Four. That's gonna be made, and we're probably gonna find out the castings of that soon. So listen, I'm not a Fantastic Four super fan, but I love the Tim Story movies. Hate him if you want to, love him if you want to. Those movies were my childhood back in the day. And Jessica Alba. Jessica Alba.
Her acting sucked in that. So, not sorry. Her acting sucked in that.
Okay.
I
At
mean,
least I got the
talk-
spirit of the.
I'll give it.
Larson,
Yeah.
Like I said,
Brie
love him if you
Larson.
want to, hate him if you want to. What are we thinking about the Fantastic Four movie? Because they can't mess this up. They can't.
I mean,
They really
I know that it's the Fantastic Four has already been fucked over before with fan force shit.
Okay,
I stand by the best Fantastic Four movie we got was the Roger
The
Corman
Incredibles.
movie.
The Incredibles. The Incredibles
Agreed.
is the best Fantastic
Yes.
Four movie.
Yes, you are correct.
I still think the first Fantastic Four movie is the best one we got, but that's just me.
the bootleg
But
versions.
the
better.
last I heard is the director said it's going to be influenced by It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I like It's Always Sunny.
That's kind of a weird
Kind of
inspiration.
random.
How the fuck could that?
Well,
What the shit?
okay, It's Always Sunny. I've watched It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny. I mean, it's a comedy, but I don't think it's going to be more comedic. I think it's basing off the fact of how the main characters, they're a family. They're all like a family. Because Dennis and damn, it's been a minute since I've seen Dee and Dennis are brother and sister. Frank is their father. Charlie and Mac aren't they're their best friends, but they're all a family. At least that's what that's what I'm taking away from it. I hope they don't go down the because It's Always Sunny is pretty fucking chaotic with its comedy. I'd rather have this though than fucking John Watts. I want to be like John Hughes.
Honestly, at this point, do we have anything left to say about the Marvels?
We're just talking shit about the
I was
MCU
gonna
at this
say-
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brie Larson has nothing else going for her after the Marvels movie. I don't know what she's working on next. There's nothing
She
in the
wore that-
credits.
In that she was wearing that white tank top. She had two big things going for her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she did.
Really?
Two big
Really?
things going for her. Yeah, I could have stood and
All it
looked
takes
that.
is two big jugs to make her likable.
I mean,
Jesus Christ.
Also forgot another thing.
But Room is amazing.
Well, that
Room is really good. Room is damn
She,
good.
and she
I mean,
did
she
she
was
did
good.
great. She did great in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World as well.
She was in
Yes, she
Skull
did.
versus, she was in Kong Skull Island. She did good. I mean,
Yeah, but those movies came out before she was in the MCU. I'm talking about after. We all know those movies. Like, we all know she was great in those movies. Afterwards is what the question is. And another topic, Jonathan Majors. So apparently,
Right, she has
writer-
nothing going for her now.
the writer of Kang Dynasty, Marvel apparently is moving further away from Kang. And I'm just like, why not just recast the character if Jonathan Majors is found guilty?
wait a second.
They did that. I mean, that's how they. I mean, they were able to transition Rhodey like from Terrence Howard to Don Cheeto. You know,
Can I say a couple things first?
one.
Yeah, what's up?
First of all, wasn't he already found innocent? I do believe. And second of
but
all,
they're going to
he
court
was
still.
he was literally just in Loki.
But that was
He was
filmed
in
before.
Loki.
That was filmed before though, so they kind of really had nothing to
Yeah,
do
it
but
was.
release it.
But
But even
I mean,
then, he was still good in season 2 of Loki. So it's and when given the right shit, Jonathan Majors is good as Kang. He was still as menacing and sinister in season 2, at least with the last few episodes. When he was He Who Remains, when he was Victor Timely, I mean, he was wacky and he was basically Black Albert Einstein. But why can't they just recast Kang? I don't understand. Like the reason we are criticizing Kang, it's not because of Jonathan Majors. It's not because we think he's a bad character. It's the fact that you fucked him up in Quantumania. Why are you making?
Right,
Why are you
I was just gonna
killing
say
off?
that.
Exactly.
Why are
I
you
mean,
killing off Kang in this first movie as a villain, and then and then showing a post-credit scene where there's multiple versions of it? It makes him less threatening.
And
Why
and
is-
the thing is the fact that he was killed in that movie by ants, so it's hard to take him seriously anymore.
I mean, imagine
Right.
if Thanos.
They
imagine
really
if
hurt his
Thanos-
credibility, the character's credibility.
Like, imagine if Thanos got beat by Mantis.
yeah.
That technically didn't happen. It was a group effort, but you get the point. Like, imagine Mantis single-handedly beat Thanos and killed him.
So, do we have anything more else to say about the Marvels, or you still want to talk about
I don't-
Marvel comics?
I mean, if it's one you're super
Yeah.
excited for, just wait for Disney Plus. Other than that, you don't need to
Yeah.
see this.
Yeah, wait for
Probably
Disney
Watch
Plus.
the
Watch-
holdovers and watch the killer.
Watch the end credit scene when it comes on YouTube, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Not even that.
absolutely.
It's going on Twitter. It's already on Twitter.
There's a lot of other good movies
Yeah,
out
sure.
there to really go in theaters to watch, or watch The Killers on Netflix. There's a lot of other good movies out there than wasting your time watching the Marvels. I mean,
Yeah.
The
it's
motherfucking
another
holders.
predictable generic movie.
And Killers of the Flower Moon. That's still out.
It was Flower Moon, absolutely great movie.
Yeah. And if you guys want to watch an actual good adaptation of multiple superheroes in one setting and they're teenagers, watch Gen V.
Honestly,
Gen
I
V
thought
is
you were gonna say Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yes.
Turtles. That's what I thought
Also-
you were gonna say.
The dark version of X-Men,
Also-
because they're basically X-Men.
Also, watch Invincibles 2, season 2. It's already out on
Invincible
Amazon.
Yes.
season 2. Yes.
Season
Yes.
2.
Excellent so
Killing
far.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on to you. I'm on to you, Cecil. You son of a bitch. I'm on to you. I know what you're doing. Bro,
All right, everybody.
disagree.
Are we ready to announce the next movie?
Yeah. So who's hosting it?
I think I am. I think I'm
Okay.
hosting.
What's the next movie?
The next movie would be coming this Saturday. It will be The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Weird.
And after
And
that,
then-
Stay tuned,
I-
everybody.
Stay tuned.
and after that,
Oh man.
And okay, and then because I know this guy's excited for me to talk about it, but
Me
the
too.
weekend after that would be Napoleon.
Fuck yeah.
fuck yeah.
All
I'm
right.
sure that Mark will have an orgasm while watching that
I
movie.
simply never do. Oh, I'm gonna nut all over the theater. I'm just gonna float all over the fucking theater.
and then Mark would have to stay after the theater closes just to clean up all of the
I ain't
mess he
cleaning up
made.
shit. I ain't
I want
cleaning
We're
up
making
a
it rain.
prediction. I want a
Great way to
prediction.
end this stream.
Let's go ahead and end it.
Oh yeah. Oh, we can talk about this after then. We can miss on the stream.
Before I end the stream, I just want to play this one quick video.
But yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Fuck you, Warner Brothers. Said by the king himself, Zack Snyder. Release the Snyderverse.
Fuck you, Warner Brothers. All right, y'all have a good one.
Bye.
Peace.
Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome.